Hi, this is Misty, and today I've got the 10 commandments to follow when you're buying a home. Hello again, this is Misty SOLDwisch from Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Innovations, where every day we're changing lives through real estate. It's so exciting when you're a buyer that has just gone under contract to purchase a new home. And there's so many things that are going on in your life at that time, so it's really natural to get excited and start thinking about the things you're going to do when you move into your new home. But I've got some really key things to avoid. We call it our 10 commandments to make sure that you make it from accepted offer to the closing table smoothly. So the first commandment is thou shalt not change jobs, become self-employed, or make any sort of employment change. You know, sometimes it seems obvious to people when they have a job opportunity that comes up during the transaction. Hey, I'm going to be making more money. Why would this be a problem? But the thing is, if you're changing industry or changing how you're compensated, it can really shake up how the mortgage approval process goes for you. The second commandment is thou shalt not purchase a new automobile. Even if you have a critical need, one of your cars isn't working any longer or got totaled from an accident or something like that, it's so important. Wait until after you've closed on that home to make a change. Anything that affects your credit can really affect your ability to get approved. The third commandment, thou shalt not buy any furniture from the money you've set aside for closing. Now, a couple different things that we hear sometimes. You go into a great furniture store and they're having a 24-month same as cash offer. Or you've saved up money and you realize you don't have to put as much down as you thought. So you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna spend that money on some furniture so it's ready to be delivered when I close. Wait until after you have closed on the home, even if it seems really exciting, because changes on your bank statements and changes to your credit, even if it's something that you don't have to pay for quite some time, can really alter your ratios and alter the approval process. The next one is thou shalt not excessively use credit cards or fall behind on your credit card payment. And again, it can be so tempting when you're saving up everything you can for that down payment that you either decide, you know what, maybe I'll skip the payment this month and I'll get caught up next month. Massive effect on your credit score. Lenders do pull credit prior to closing again, even if you had a credit check for your pre-approval. Also, putting things onto your credit cards can dramatically affect your score as well. So do not use them, only in moderation. The next commandment, thou shalt not omit debts from your credit application. Sometimes we forget situations that are actual liabilities that we forgot to tell the lender that don't come up until later in the underwriting process. Things like deferred student loans, co-signing for a relative. Seeing those both catch up people and affect their ratios that weren't things that were obvious up front, but had a really bad consequence. So avoid that. The next commandment, thou shalt not stop paying your current mortgage payment or rent payment. Even if you think, gosh, you know, I'm getting ready to close in 3 weeks, they'll get their full payoff then, or I'll catch up with my landlord at that time. Massive effect on your credit score. When you fall behind on a house payment, that's one of the biggest items that can have a quick impact on your ability to make a purchase of a home. Most lenders follow the guideline that if you've had a late mortgage payment, meaning it's 15 days past the due date, you have to wait a full 12 months of having current mortgage payments in order to qualify. Next commandment, thou shalt not have extra inquiries on your credit. Even if you don't actually apply for a loan, just having your credit pulled for different consumer debt. Say you're planning on doing a car after you close or planning on getting some furniture and using a special financing offer. Even if you don't actually go through with it, just having an inquiry pulled on your credit is bad to underwriters. Next one, thou shalt not co-sign on a loan for anyone. I see this happen a lot, that a parent with adult children is in the process of purchasing a home and they have a child that needs to have a cosigner on a car loan, and they think, well, they're the ones who are actually going to be the main person on the loan and they'll be taking care of it. From a credit point of view, it's your debt. So don't do that during the waiting process. Wait till after you've closed. The next commandment, thou shalt not put large deposits into your banking account. One thing that's really important during the mortgage application process is they do review your last several months of bank statements. They are looking for areas where you've potentially borrowed funds that can have an effect on your debt to income ratio. So if they have deposits that can't be accounted for, that causes a red flag. Those funds need to be seasoned in your account so that it's not considered a potential liability. And then very similar to that, the last commandment is, thou shalt not change banks or do excessive transfers between different bank accounts prior to closing. Very similar reason. The mortgage underwriters want to understand where your money is coming from and how it's working so that they have a real sense of your ability to repay and what kind of obligations you have. So even if you have a great offer from a new bank or a different type of account, wait. It's not worth losing your potential home over that short-term convenience. So overall, we find that if you really look at what those 10 commandments are and follow them, it's going to make the process of getting to your closing so much easier. Now, if you haven't put an offer on a house yet, but you're curious about what kind of homes are on the market, click on our home search link. If you want to know what your home is worth in today's market to get an idea of what kind of options you have if you want to make a change in the future, click on our home value report. And as always, if you have any real estate questions, I'm here to help.